Hey, Tesla fans, it's time for another episode of Tesla Universe Podcast. I'm your host, Cameron Prince. Got a great show tonight, but a couple of things, housekeeping items to start with. First of all, my friend Bill Fox was quick to note our comment last week that I had made a mistake with the segment on Tesla's insulators at Colorado Springs. And I did some digging and into the diary, the notes that Tesla left us. And of course, Bill Fox is correct. On October 1st of 1899, Tesla says the new secondary was wound with 22 turns in all. The last turn was placed on top on porcelain insulators to prevent injury to the wood and breaking through on the last turn where danger greatest. So Bill's correct. Tesla didn't, the insulators were a way to protect the wood. So that top turn was so prone to arcing that it was probably igniting the wood. So Tesla installed the insulators. He calls them porcelain here, but they sure look like glass to me. And Richard was of the opinion that they were glass as well. So maybe Teslas were porcelain. Who knows? We'll look into that further. But thank you, Bill, for pointing out the error there. And know that I stand corrected. Appreciate you watching. Now, next, also wanted to let you all know that I received a very nice email from the relative of Miss Muzar. And she thanked me for sharing the videos with you all and let me know that she thought I was doing a good job. So thank you again for sharing the video with us, and thank you for watching, and I'm glad you're happy with it. So now we're going to start a new segment tonight, a new series that we'll have as part of the podcast, and it's going to be featured Tesla coilers or featured Tesla type devices. And tonight we're going to start with my friend from Memphis, David Rieben. David and I met through the Tesla coil mailing list. I want to say in maybe 2005, 2004, somewhere in that time frame. One of my first larger coils was based on David's green monster Tesla coil, which we'll feature soon. But this week, I wanted to introduce David and let you guys know where the term Arczilla came from. So if we look at these pictures here, you'll see David. We're in his garage in Memphis at his former residence. And he's showing us what became Arczilla. Now, David invented it, but I believe I coined the term. It was kind of a group effort, so I won't claim 100%, but that's where it came from. This visit in 2008, we were there with David. And what the difference is between just a normal high voltage transformer, Jacob's ladder, when I was a kid, one of the first things I did was make one out of a neon sign transformer, 15,000 volts, 30 milliamps. But the difference here is in Arczilla, we use in this case, I believe it's a 0.4, like a 200 kV cap, Maxwell cap. And that is in series with the terminals that make up the Jacob's ladder. So it's a series kind of resonance going on that really gives it a boost, and it could be some power factor correction going on. If you guys have a better idea, be sure to comment. I'd like to know more about the phenomenon as well. But if you take a standard high voltage transformer and make a Jacob's ladder out of it and compare it with using a series capacitor with a high voltage output, I think you're going to see a significant increase in performance. And we're talking on order of 30%. So it's impressive. So this is where Arczilla came from, and we've actually got a video of it as well. So take a look at this.
So here we are at David's. We'll see his. What do you call this, David?
Just a wicked power arc, I guess. All right, fixing to energize. All right.
So I'm glad you work for the fire department.
Want more footage?
Let me come from this angle over here.
Okay.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah. Man, that is insane.
So those are some pretty serious arcs, right? he at one point had burn marks on his ceiling in the garage. So a lot of fun. David's a good friend of mine, and we'll see him again because there's some a lot more stuff that David and I have done. Next up, I want to introduce you to a friend of mine named Henry Hurrass, or as we like to call him, Dr. Hankenstein. Now, Henry and I met, I want to say in 2006 or 7, also on the Tesla Coil mailing list. And Henry invited me out to Phoenix, where he was living at the time, to have what was called the Winter Western Teslathon, the WWT. And we were there in 2009, and I met Henry for the first time. And one of the coolest gadgets that he had, at least I thought at the time, was this ring of fire, or motorized spark ring. As you can see here in the photos, it's an aluminum ring suspended over insulators, and it has an electric motor. Looks like an isolation transformer there too, but it rotates a rod that acts as one part of the circuit, and I guess the ring is the other part. So it has some nice effects, and you can see these still photos. It looks really great. Really cool device. And we've also got some videos, so take a look at this. All right, so there's the Ring of Fire. Thanks, Henry. Look forward to seeing you again soon, man. Okay, next we're going to jump in the Wayback Machine, and we're going to go to 2017, where I made a trip to Colorado Springs. This is where we saw this is the same time frame as when I shot the video on the Manitou Springs water bottle. But in this case, I'm actually making a trip to the El Paso Club. Now, we looked at the El Paso Club previously in that video about the Mineral Springs water bottle. And we talked about an article where the importance of the place, or significance of the place, is related to Tesla's visit there when he first arrived in 1899, and then again in the mid to late 60s when the marker was dedicated in the park there. So here's some video, a tour actually of the El Paso Club. So I hope you enjoy. Hey guys, Cameron Prince, Tesla Universe, and today is my last day in Colorado Springs, and I was lucky enough to get in touch with the manager of the El Paso Club, which you can see which you can see behind me. And if you don't know, this club, this building behind me, was actually standing when Tesla was here. He had a reception here. The governor of Colorado showed up, all the city officials. I mean, it was a big deal when Tesla came here, 1899. He visited this building. They had a reception for him. They had dinner. And then again, when the marker in Memorial Park was established, they kind of duplicated that reception that Tesla originally had in 1899 as a part of the dedication of the marker to him. So I'm gonna be able to go in here and take a look, and hopefully I can find the room or find the dining area or whatever where Tesla was. I mean, it's just a good bit of history. I've never been here before, so I'm gonna check it out. Let's go meet Tom, the manager.
The club was formed in 1877. For the first 15 years, they were located in different buildings downtown. Then they bought this J.H. Carr mansion, and it really just was kind of the floor plan you see right now.
Okay.
This, and then it matches upstairs. There's a billiard room and
Right.
a boardroom.
And you said that Tesla probably had a reception?
Yeah, I would assume they probably would have had cocktails and meeting here first, then go into the other room.
Okay.
for dinner.
All right. And is the construction basically the same? I mean, so
Footprint's the same. That hasn't been. This was like renovated like 6 years ago. You can see like the ceiling isn't quite like modern.
okay.
You can look into the dining room there. This is actually a speakeasy door, but it wasn't. It was part of this renovation. It wasn't original.
Gotcha.
And that dining was actually a bowling alley.
Bowling
What's
alley.
interesting is because it was a bowling alley in the late 1890s, which is kind of the time frame you're looking at.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you said he had. What time? When was his reception? Was this a memorial reception or when Tesla was
It
here?
was kind of an introduction to the city, and the governor was
Oh,
here,
yeah.
and a lot of the state officials and city officials.
The footprint was pretty much the same. You know, this did kind of change around.
Okay.
So they had. So this is the grill.
Okay. And this has been here since 1899 as well?
It's been a lot of variations, but pretty much for a long time it's been a grill,
Okay.
like a casual lunch area.
Nice.
And then we go to the kitchen.
Right.
And this has always been, this has been conference areas that this was also part of that mastery model where they modernized it. Ceiling projectors and all that, so we do a lot of conference
Okay.
areas. That's a restaurant. So this is the dining room. I would assume if it was like in the 1890s, I know the bowling alley was around that time, so I don't know if they had a dinner, just dinner around here that time.
Okay.
But I would assume they probably had dinner in this area. And this section right up to where the folding doors are here used to be a ladies' dining room, because back in the day, the ladies had a separate entrance, and then they came in here and rang a buzzer for service.
I see.
So
Okay.
times have changed.
And where was the men's area? Was that where
In
we?
the grill, and then
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this was the dining room. This was the ladies. This was the dining room. All around that time. There is a book called by Marshall Sprague,
Okay.
and you could probably find. I think people have found it on Amazon, but it really goes through the whole history of the club for the first 100 years.
Okay.
That would give you all the detail on it. It might have something about Tesla in that.
Okay.
About that. So Marshall Sprague.
Marshall
He
Sprague.
was a member, but he was also a local historian. There's actually a park named for him up on the northwest side of town.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, I would check that as a reference. That will probably give you what you need.
All right. Sounds good. Well, thank you so much
Okay,
for
you're
letting
welcome.
me
Yeah.
check this out.
So is it going to be on TV?
So, guys, these two rooms are where Tesla would have had his reception.
And the reception from the marker, if I recall correctly, had a photo, and this room looks awfully. This room looks really familiar because I think I've seen this in the photo from the dedication of the marker in 1967, I believe it was. But you can see the older architecture. It's been remodeled in some places, but Tom tells me that overall, this is essentially the same as it was when Tesla was here. So I got the full tour, and it's just awesome to be another place where Tesla was. So we'll catch you next time.
Okay, folks, that's it for this week. Next week, we'll come back and we'll check out the Colorado Springs lab model. I'll catch you up with that. And we'll also hear the next segment from Miss Muzar. So I hope you have a nice evening and happy holidays.